to the city of Chelyabinsk. This bustling metropolis is at the heart of Russian industry and has pulled out all the stops to host the 2014 World Judo Championships. The city is in a judo frenzy and everyone is thrilled that Chelyabinsk is hosting the event. Banners and advertising line the streets, and the Tractor Arena, which will play host to the event, has been transformed into a judo bonanza in anticipation of fans coming from across the world to be part of these championships. The stadium itself has been sold out for months and provided a great atmosphere for the most hotly anticipated date in the IJF World Circuit. With all eyes on Chelyabinsk, media coverage at the event is off the scale, and IJF and Sport Accord President Mr. Marius Visa was busy with numerous conferences and signings, dealing not just with this event, but with judo and sport as a whole. As expected, the draw saw the entry of many of World Judo's top superstars, and there was excitement at some of the clashes that would happen across the board at all weights. For the first time, the fighters themselves were able to watch the draw as it unfolded from their hotels. Most in the spotlight in Chelyabinsk were the defending world champions out to protect their crowns. The judo itself got underway after a spectacular opening ceremony, which demonstrated perfectly just how much Chelyabinsk has put into the event as a whole. And Mr. Visa officially opened 2014 World Judo Championships. We start with the under 66 kilogram category, where our first defending champion was trying to make history for Japan. His name is EBINUMA, the double world champion. The travelling army of Japanese fans have come to see if he can repeat the feats of Rio last year, where he claimed his second world title in style, and also to see if he can write his name down in history as one of an elite bunch of triple world champions. Chelyabinsk, he looked to be ready to do just that, as he unleashed a barrage of attacks on his elimination opponents en route to the final. EBINUMA boasts textbook traditional judo and is a pleasure to watch. None more so than in his contest with Ukraine's Zantaraya, whose uncanny ability to wriggle out of throws made for a feast of spectacular acrobatics, as EBINUMA bombarded him with throw after throw, eventually having to settle for the win on a penalty. EBINUMA looked unstoppable, but the man trying to spoil his day would have home support. Russia's PULYAEV topped off a fantastic year which has seen him storm his way up the rankings to world number 2 by reaching the final in Chelyabinsk. PULYAEV, like EBINUMA, also favours traditional Japanese throws. But in his semi-final, he showed that he possesses the additional physicality needed to frustrate the Japanese style of judo as he overcame EBINUMA's teammate Takechi to ignite the Tractor Arena and progress to the final. Zantaraya recovered from his defeat to EBINUMA to defeat a despondent Takechi and take a bronze for the second year running. Whilst PULYAEV's Russian teammate Khan Magomedov saw off Corval of France in the other bronze medal contest to leave the Tractor Arena simmering ahead of the showdown between PULYAEV and EBINUMA. Well, EBINUMA can't wait to get out there. He's trotting out. And look at that, Russian support here for this man, PULYAEV. Chelyabinsk, what an amazing host they've been to these World Championships. Incredible. The atmosphere in this stadium is incredible, and this man is going for his third world title. EBINUMA of Japan in white, PULYAEV of Russia in blue. And EBINUMA, well, he wants that left arm over, so does PULYAEV. They're left to left, these two. EBINUMA looking for the line for the Uchimata. You get the feeling that somebody is going to go. Drops the Inagi EBINUMA. And there's Inui, head coach, watching from the stands. So is Uemura, head of the Kodokan. They want to see this man here. Can he do it? Oh, he can! Beautiful! And he is 3 times world champion. And a smile on his face there. That was superb from EBINUMA. And, well, look, PULYAEV just says, it just all went away from me. Look at the Uchimata, starts with the hips, and then the leg follows. It's hips first, leg later, but it was beautiful. He found the line, he gets the contact, and he controls it right the way over. And what an Ippon to win your 3rd world title. EBINUMA has been amazing all day. And he is one of the true greats. And he's still only 25 years old.
When I win, it's not just about me. It's also about the people around me who support me and get me to this position. I'm extra grateful for this result, and this victory is for them.
At under 60 kilograms, Japan were almost certain for a gold, as their invincible world #1 was out to take a 2nd world title. Takato has not been defeated in over 2 years and has established himself as the clear #1. Since winning his first world title in Rio last year, he has beaten all likely adversaries, and his exciting brand of Ippon Judo has made him one of the most exciting competitors on the IJF World Circuit today. At just 21 years of age, the question on everyone's lips is just how much will his career see him achieve. In Chelyabinsk, Takato's progression through the eliminations was sealed in style with some typically emphatic Ippon Judo. His sidestepping Uchimata counter, the pick of the bunch as he reached the semi-finals. However, his opponent there was home favourite Mudrinov, and the European champion was on a warpath. Throws and submissions flowed in abundance from the dynamic Russian as he set up a semi-final showdown with Takato. Korea's Choi, the final victim of Mudrinov's lethal transition skills, was left feeling like all his opponents, absolutely shell-shocked. But Takato is in a league of his own, and as Russia and Japan collided inside the arena for the semi-final, no one could have anticipated what happened next. With just over 30 seconds of the contest gone, Mudrinov pounced, springing through to drive the defending champion onto his side, Yuko Mudrinov. Then Takato came back, Wazari. He was in the lead. But wait, the video referee wanted a closer look. It was determined that Mudrinov had spun out just enough to downgrade the throw to a Yuko. All even. And with tension rising, Takato went back to the drawing board. Yuko. Elation for Takato. But no, once again the video referee downgraded the attack. No score. Then, as the fighters strayed to the edge of the contest area, Takato lost concentration and stepped out. A clear penalty. Mudrinov had regained the lead. In the final minute, Mudrinov attacked again. A spectacular shoulder throw from which Takato barely escaped, but which gave the Russian a chance to burn the clock on the ground. He'd done it. He'd defeated the invincible Takato. Fireworks inside the Tractor Arena as Mudrinov would fight for gold. But his Mongolian opponent Gambat hadn't read the script. He took the final from Mudrinov with a superior attack rate, which meant penalties and defeat for the Russian, who'd done all the hard work only to fall at the final hurdle. But for Gambat, it was a first world title. Georgia's Papanashvili took the first bronze up for grabs with a last-minute counter-attack against Israel's Arshansky. Whilst Takato recovered from the disappointment in the semi-final to gain the consolation of the remaining bronze. At under 73 kilograms, the Japanese men's team suffered yet another upset as their defending world champion Ono came unstuck in the early stages of his title defence when he was foot-swept by Korea's Lee in the quarter-finals. Left flying the flag for Japan was the former world champion Nakaya, who looked to be up to the task, producing one of the throws of the tournament in his eliminations with this beautiful unorthodox Seanagi. Amazing stuff from Nakaya. His unlikely opponent in the final was North Korea's Hong. Always an unknown quantity, North Korea produces some outstanding athletes, and Hong was no exception. Surprising world silver medalist Legrand, as well as Georgia's seasoned scrapper Tatilashvili to make the semi-final. There he caught Kazakhstan's Terenov with a drop shoulder throw to score Ippon and set up a match with Nakaya for the world title. Who would come out on top? Well, can Japan get another gold in these championships? A good championship so far. Nakaya going for a second world title. Hong though, well, he's the Asian champion, but we haven't seen a lot of him. Oh, Nakai going for the Ippon Seanagi! Oh, he changes direction and gets the Ippon! That massive Ippon Seanagi we saw earlier, and he tries to get the lift, and then he changes direction. There's the lift, and then he gets the leg in, and look at that, Hong goes for the counter, but gets his counter countered. It was Kouchi there from Nakaya, and he takes it backwards onto his shoulders, and he scores Ippon. Beautifully driven there from Nakaya. There's the lift, there's the switch, there's the Kouchi and the drive back onto his shoulders to win his second world title. And Japan are back with a vengeance. And there were just as many fireworks in the bronze medal contest, as Swartov took a first ever World Championship Judo medal for the United Arab Emirates when he faced off against Korea's Lee. This perfectly timed foot sweep ensured Swartov wrote his name down in UAE and judo history. The other bronze medal was won by Russia's Mogoskov, giving the home crowd some more hardware to celebrate. In the lightest female weight of under 48 kilograms, Japan were also on point as youngster Kondo saw her dreams become reality when she outgunned Argentine Pareto in the final to secure the win on penalties. Bronzes were taken by Francis Bouchard and Laborde of Cuba. But at under 57 kilograms, the Japanese women's team suffered an early upset. Their highly lauded Olympic champion Matsumoto was making a World Championship return and was the pundit's choice for gold in Chelyabinsk. But in an example of the judo god's fickle nature, Matsumoto was caught napping by the USA's world silver medalist Malloy and was forced to submit to a Jujikatami armbar. She was out. Malloy then lost to Portugal's Monteiro, who herself progressed through to the final. A former world silver medalist, Monteiro is no stranger to the big stage and showed she still has it in her to compete at the highest level, as some spectacular Ippon judo saw her through. In a twist of fate, it would be Japan's number 2, Udaka, who would meet her there. Spirited by Nakaya's showing under 73 kilograms, Udaka seized the opportunity to show her worth and was a real crowd pleaser, using her Osotogari attack to deadly effect as she blitzed her way to the final. But as the Tractor Arena awaited dramatics, they were eventually disappointed as the pair cancelled each other out in a lackluster final. In the end, a mistake from Monteiro was the deciding factor. This attack of the Daka's legs had clear breach of judo contest rules, punishable by immediate disqualification. Montero had lost it and Daka was the champion. She had pulled it back around for Japan and shown that it's her who deserves the limelight in the category. Verhagen of the Netherlands was the surprise winner of one of the bronze medals, whilst Pavia of France took the other. At under 52 kilograms, there was another defending champion in action. Kelmendi has established herself as the clear forerunner in the category and was odds-on favourite to retain her title here in Chelyabinsk. Her usual power was once again on display for judo audiences as she swept aside all comers. In the final, her opponent Shitu could not contain her, and after Kelmendi notched up a Wazari with this big hip throw, the final was a done deal, with Kelmendi adding a Yuko for good measure. Gold for Kelmendi, a second world title. And as she received her medal from Mr. Marius Visa, the judo world was asking itself whether anyone could stop her from becoming Olympic champion in 2 years' time. The under 52 kilogram bronzes were won by Kozyatina of Russia and Miranda of Brazil. But there was no doubting the superiority of the woman topping the podium. The under 63 kilogram category is in the midst of a tug of war between two dynamic fighters, AGBEGNENOU and Gerbi. Gerbi became Israel's first ever world champion last year in Rio, when she defeated AGBEGNENOU in the final. And after a disappointing year, Gerbi was back on form again in Chelyabinsk, once again boasting her powerful hip throws en route to the semi-finals. There she caught Japan's Toshiro on the ground to secure a pin and make it through to a second world final in as many years. Gerbi's title defence was on the right track. But France's AGBEGNENOU was out for revenge. She is the form fighter this year, but in contrast to Gerbi, it lacked her usual explosiveness throughout the day. But like Gerbi, used groundwork in a semi-final to set up the dream rematch for the final in Chelyabinsk. So after the bronze medals have been taken by Toshiro and Slovenian's Trusenjak, all eyes were on the final. Gerbi versus AGBEGNENOU. Which one of them would be top of the podium this time? So AGBEGNENOU, she wants revenge. This is a repeat of last year's world final. Yuri Gerbi, Shimi wasn't AGBEGNENOU for Ippon then, so she wants her revenge. Now look at that, Teddy RINER looking relaxed before he fights. Right against left, these two. Yuri Gerbi looking for the big throw, Uchimata there. She's been on great form at this competition, not so good during the year. Oh, she's been thrown now for a Yuko. AGBEGNENOU, big hit technique there, just takes her over. But they're both going for big techniques. Here it is. So Koshi Guruma, hips across. Gerbi just manages to put her hand down. Lands on her side for a Yuko. But still coming forwards, she wants to throw for Ippon. She's thrown for Ippon all the way through. She almost gets countered there by AGBEGNENOU. Mr. Marius Visa enjoying the final. AGBEGNENOU looking for the arm to come across. She's looking to put the hips across as well. And she does. Trying to get the arm over the top. Gerbi just stopping her. She doesn't this time. Just lands on her front. No score this time. But she's got to come forwards, and that is what her coach is telling her. You've got to come forwards. You've got to go for the big score. Right against left. Can't always get hold of the sleeve. They've both got hold around the back. Look at the massive hip throw there from Yuri Gerbi. The world champion trying to throw for Ippon, which is all she knows how to do. Very defensive, AGBEGNENOU at the moment. The arm will come across, goes round the back. Now what's going to happen? She's set as well. They're both set for it. Oh, the hips go across, and Derby goes over, and that is Ippon. AGBEGNENOU wins the world title, and Yarden Derby, well, she couldn't stop it. The hips came across. They were both going for the same thing, and big applause there from RINER. There's the hip movement, and she just drives her over. She was holding onto the lapel, but she takes her right the way over onto her back for probably the biggest impact of her career. This is what happens when both fighters go for impact. These two have fought each other 5 times. Every match, either one way or the other, has ended in Ippon. What a rivalry we have between these two ladies. Who can tell which one will be on top come 2 years' time in Rio de Janeiro? And well, cheers for this lady. Gold for France, gold for AGBEGNENOU. Both of these ladies, big smiles on their faces. 2 huge throwers, and Ippon is what it's all about.
It feels like I'm dreaming. I keep thinking that I'm going to wake up and go and have to fight all over again. But now it's over and I'm really happy. I told myself that if I had a rematch, I would have to fight to the end and not lose this time so I could win this world title, which I've been waiting for. I've been training for this for a year, doing Grand Prix and Grand Slams to win these world championships. I'm very happy to have topped off a great year like this.
At under 70 kilograms, one woman was out to make judo history. Colombia's ALVEAR was looking to become a triple world champion. Her second world title in Rio last year was an incredible story. Now this year she seeks to achieve a feat unprecedented for a Colombian athlete, and one that would etch her name in the list of elite athletes, most of which are from judo's powerhouse nations. A victory for ALVEAR would be a sensation for Colombian sport. But world number 1 Polling lay in wait for her in the semi-finals. The Dutch woman has established herself as a favourite whenever she takes to the tatami, and she was here in Chelyabinsk looking to go one better than her bronze in Rio last year. And whilst judo experts have made the mistake of betting against ALVEAR before, surely she couldn't defeat the formidable Polling. Well, Polling, the world number 1, but ALVEAR going for her 3rd world title. Now then, what's going to happen here? Oh, it's going to be a wasari there to ALVEAR. Normally, Polling just picks them up and buries them, but not ALVEAR. ALVEAR just hooks in, redirects the movement, and takes it back. Look at that. He said you've got to keep moving here. ALVEAR, though, well on top of this match. Polling having real problems here. Not had the best form today, I have to say. But ALVEAR again. Look at that, she's going for it again. What's going to happen this time? Well, just gets off it, Polling. Oh, but another one. Yuko this time. Harai Makikomi, Soto Makikomi, should I say. And Polling was on the way up. There it is, and takes it down for a Yuko. So Polling needs a big one. She needs a massive attack here. She needs an Ippon. Is it going to happen? No, it's not going to happen. Wasari Awazeti Ippon, and ALVEAR goes through to the final. Kim Polling has been given a judo lesson there because ALVEAR was superb. Like I said, Kim Polling not on the best form, so she was struggling. But ALVEAR was on form, and she absolutely takes it to Kim Polling, the world number 1. Harai Makikomi, Wasari Awazeti Ippon, and she's into the final. Japan's Nonira would stand between ALVEAR and a place in the history books. With a minute gone, ALVEAR latched in for an attack and Nonira braced. Would she be able to counter the champion? As she tried to do just that, she lifted her right foot up for a split second, and that was what ALVEAR wanted. Koichigari, a sweep attacking the inside of the foot. Nonira landed firmly on her back. Ippon, history for ALVEAR and Colombia. What an incredible athlete ALVEAR is. Truly one of judo's all-time greats. And there was more for South American judo fans to cheer as Cuba's Cortez Aldama produced a spectacular Uchimata Ippon in the bronze medal contest against Croatia's Matic. Poland could not recover from her defeat to ALVEAR and was beaten in the other bronze medal contest by Poland's Clarisse, who was elated to be gracing the podium for Chelyabinsk. But there was no doubt in the true champion. Once again, the Colombian flag flew highest as ALVEAR collected gold.
Bueno, estoy muy contenta,
I'm really happy and
estoy
thrilled.
muy feliz.
I'm thankful I had the inner
Obviamente le
tranquility
agradezco
to be able
mucho
to
a Dios
compete
por la
here today,
tranquilidad que me ha dado el
because
día de
that's
hoy
the
para
most important
competir,
thing for me,
porque
to
sé que
stay
eso es lo
calm
que
when I
mejor me
fight.
sienta, estar tranquila a la hora de competir. Bueno, sé que
I know that
están muy
everybody is
contentos,
happy,
más que todo
especially
mi
my coach,
entrenador que
because
me
he
inició en
introduced me
este
to this
deporte.
I know that my
Sé
family
que
will
van
be
a estar
waiting for me
recibiéndome y
and that Colombia is
esperándome
very
mi
happy
familia, y sé
because
que
we
todo
are
Colombia
improving in
está
a
muy
number of
contento,
sports,
ya que
including
nuestro
football,
deporte ha mejorado
athletics and
mucho,
triple
nuestro
jump.
equipo de fútbol, la atleta
We're very
de
strong now,
salto
and this is
triple,
partly thanks
estamos
to
muy
the
fuertes
motivation
ahora
from
y
my
estamos muy
results.
motivados con mi resultado.
At under 78 kilograms, the equally unlikely reigning champion was North Korea's Seoul, and she also found herself in a semi-final against one of judo's big names in the form of Francis Chimeo. As Chimeo pushed Seoul back towards the edge, she timed her attack perfectly, flattening Seoul with a huge oguruma to bring the North Koreans' title defense to an end. Beautiful judo from Chimeo, captured in all its glory by the cameras in Chelyabinsk. Her opponent in the final was the highly fancied AGBEGNENOU of Brazil, who'd seen off the returning Olympic champion Harrison with a counter-attacking foot sweep in the other semi-final to set up a showdown with Chimeo. Unfortunately for France, Chimeo's semi-final would be her high point. She could not recreate the magic and fell to a low driving combination from AGBEGNENOU, which scored Wazari. Much fancied for a world gold last year, AGBEGNENOU had finally done it. She was world champion. For Olympic champion Harrison, a bronze medal was scant consolation, as she was devastated not to have taken gold. But for Velencek of Slovenia, the other bronze was a great achievement, and one which she achieved by defeating Seoul with a clever foot sweep to complete the podium. At over 78 kilograms, there was a guaranteed clean sweep of the heavyweights for South America, as Brazil took on Cuba when Altherman faced off against reigning champion Ortiz. The power of Ortiz was too much for Altherman, and the Cuban finished the bout decisively with a huge Uranagi Ippon to claim a second world title to go with her Olympic gold from London. Japan's Tachimoto and France's Andio won the bronze medals. At under 81 kilograms, there was no upset, as Georgia's world number one Srikisvili failed to disappoint Georgian judo fans when he took his first world title. In his final against Valois Fortier of Canada, he took the score he needed with a typically spectacular suplexing Uranagi for a Wazari, for which the Canadian had no answer. Gold for Srikisvili and Georgia. A muted response from the world number one, who later stated he was disappointed not to have thrown for Ippon. And whilst France's defending world champion Prix also looked unmoved by his bronze, it was left for the crowd to brighten up the category when they erupted in a frenzy at the victory and bronze medal of one of their heroes, Nippon. under 100 kilograms, Kapelek's gold medal made him the Czech Republic's first ever Judo World Champion. With great throws on his path to the final, he looked determined to secure the title his world #1 ranking merited. And Czech judo fans were in luck, as he secured a pin in the final against Cuba's EBINUMA Terence to take the gold. A fantastic moment for Kapelek and for Czech judo. He was on top of the world. The bronze medals were taken by Germany's Prix and the United Arab Emirates' Ramarenko, who doubled their medal tally when he strangled Sweden's Pasek. With so many world champions being crowned, it is important to remember that an event on the scale of these world championships is just as much about the future of the sport as it is about the present. The IJF operates on the mantra of judo's founder, Dr. Jigoro Kano, that sport can provide a code for life, and with the spotlights on Chelyabinsk, what better place to help spread this message? To this end, the IJF has worked tirelessly to provide support for some of judo's emerging nations, and has been active in providing funding and support for many athletes from sub-Saharan Africa in particular. This assistance meant that Chelyabinsk saw an unprecedented number of athletes from this region in action.
I'm really pleased to be here thanks to the International Judo Federation. We're very happy. It's great to be able to participate. It really gives me pleasure to see Africa being represented here at the World Judo Championships. It's very important and it contributes to the evolution of African judo.
The experience these athletes gain competing on such a scale will go hand in hand with the IJF development schemes in the region. The ultimate goal is to spread not just the sport itself, but the principles and moral code of judo throughout the continent.
We have the opportunity to compete in events like this. I think if we keep going this way, then our level will improve and everything will get a lot better for us.
Judo is one of the most inclusive Olympic sports, boasting a medal spread that spans the globe. And this is in no small thanks to the IJF's tireless development work going on behind the scenes. Who knows where the champions of tomorrow will spring from?
I hope African judo can produce lots of champions, so we can start getting athletes on the podiums, on world podiums, and why not, at the Olympics too.
The over 100 kilo category saw in action the most decorated male fighter of all time. 6-time world champion Teddy RINER of France. His victory in Rio last year made him the most prolific male judoka in world championship history. And in Chelyabinsk, he was looking to equal the tally of judo's all-time great, Tani of Japan, who won 7 titles in the female under 48 kilos. RINER's superiority in this category is unquestioned. No one has even come close to beating him in 4 years, and his path through to the eliminations showed exactly why. Raw power mixed with clinical execution makes RINER a judo phenomenon, whose like has never been seen, nor perhaps will ever be seen again. 2 Ippons that almost broke the floor were a perfect example of this. RINER looked unstoppable in his quest for a 7th world title. With an exceptionally proud father and family in the crowd to support him, RINER came out for the semi-final composed and ready to make more history. Barely 30 seconds had passed before he snuck his hand under Silva of Brazil's neck to catch him in a strangle. Silva had no chance. RINER was into the final. The man seeking to achieve the impossible there was Japan's Shinshinui. The latest challenger the Japanese have produced to try and wrest the coveted over 100 kilogram title away from RINER and France showcased a special technique in the form of a snappy Ouchigari reaping attack on his way to the final. After numerous tactics had failed, could this attack find the Achilles heel in RINER's defence? The travelling Japanese fans had high hopes as always, beating RINER is something hardly anyone has managed to achieve. So, as a confident RINER came out to contest the final, it would be only a fool who would have bet against it. And sure enough, despite a brief flourish at the start of the contest, which rocked RINER for the briefest of instances, the bout soon drifted away from Shichinui. To avoid the ever-imminent Ippon, the Japanese dropped to his knees whenever RINER secured a dominant grip, frustrating the Frenchman, but conceding penalties to give him the lead nonetheless. But Shichinui was still alive, and only one score was in the lead. Who knows what can happen in judo? Shichinui just needs one more penalty. It's all over.
Goodness me, he's gone down RINER! 40 seconds to go! Is that going to be a Yuko? Well, everybody shouted for the Yuko, and I want to see it from another angle. Well, for me, he didn't quite land. What is the video referee going to do? What is the referee going to do? There's the Uruchi there. RINER was caught napping. And, well, he lands just on his, well, it's on his front, isn't he, I think? And Shichinui, he's hoping. What are they going to give? The head referee directive there on RINER's fate rests in their hands. What's going to happen? What are they going to give? Hajime! Ho-ho! RINER's good off the hook! And it's no score, and now Shichinui comes forward. But it's all over, and he's won his 7th world title. That is magnificent. But Shichinui now knows what he has to do, and he will be chasing.
Even if it had been a Yuko, I knew straight away that I was going to throw him for Ippon. I was hungry, and there was no way I was going to let him get away with my medal, my title.
Brazil's silver took 1 bronze, whilst Russia's Sayedov completed a great medal haul for the host nation. If RINER is the most accomplished male judoka in history, at under 90 kilograms fights one of the most popular. Iliadis of Greece is an all-time fan favourite. The double world champion failed to strike gold in Rio last year, but nevertheless took bronze with a typically spectacular Ippon, and all eyes were on him to see if he could become a triple world champion. Everybody loves Iliadis. But the favourite for gold was undoubtedly the world #1, Lipitiliani, and whilst he and Iliadis are good friends off the mat, the under 90 kilogram crown is the subject of a fierce rivalry between the two. Lipitiliani is also a fan favourite who sports incredibly powerful hip throws, which leaves his opponents helpless. And with defending champion Gonzalez not in Chelyabinsk to defend his title, Lipitiliani may have no better chance of becoming world champion. His opening contest showed just why he is so highly regarded. Perfect judo technique to execute uchimata, the most iconic and difficult of throws to master. The up-and-coming Toth of Hungary would face Lipitiliani in the quarter-finals. In a tight contest, the Georgian made just one costly mistake. By gripping on the same side of the judogi without attacking for too long, he earned a penalty, and ultimately it was this penalty that separated him from Toth. Lipitiliani had lost. He would be fighting for bronze. Toth was through to the semi-finals. There he met Voprazov of Russia. With the contesting golden score, Toth gave it everything he had left, and powered up through the Russian centre of gravity to lift him cleanly into the air. After turning him in mid-flight, he was able to land Voprazov on his side. Yuko! He was into a world final. A momentous achievement for this young judoka. With Lipitiliani out, the door had opened for Iliadis. He was his usual exciting self in his elimination contest. It's this explosive brand of judo which has earned him a place in the hearts of judo fans worldwide. An uchimata for Yuko against Uzbek Juriev sealed the deal for the Greek as he made it through to the final, where he would face off against Toth. Iliadis on track to become a triple world champion. But before that, his friend Lipitiliani would have to muster his strength and recover from his disappointment to face off against Juriev for bronze. Uzbek is a dangerous opponent, as home favourite Denisov found out in the quarterfinals, and he came out on the wrong end of this Uchimata occasion. Would Lipitiliani be able to do it? Lipitiliani then will be disappointed he's not in the final, but here he is fighting for a medal. He's the world #1, and there it is. It's beautiful Ippon there. Harai Makikomi, and look at the disappointment in his face there. He was here for gold, and it wasn't to be. Hips went across. As soon as he relaxed and did his judo, it all happened. There it is. Head goes down. He has control of the arm. It's an unusual attack, isn't it? The hips just do it all. The rotation, and he secures the bronze medal against Yuri. So the under 90 kilogram final, this should be amazing. The crowd really up for it, clapping them on, and here he is, the great Iliadis of Greece, wearing blue, going for his 3rd world title. And, well, Top, he's had an amazing day as well. He's in the final, his 1st world final. Can he do it? Can he stop Iliadis? Iliadis is right back on form. And you've got to remember that it was 2004 when he won the Olympic gold medal at 81 kilograms. And here he is, 10 years later, still at the top. And look at that! Standing Seoinage there. Top just about manages to climb off that one. Oh my goodness me, he was going upwards. Nothing drop about that, is there, from Iliadis? So Iliadis going for Ippon, that's for sure. Top, though, is dangerous because he drops for that Seoinage. And there he is, attacking the great Iliadis from behind. So Iliadis now. And there, Mr. Marius Visa, just loving this final. Can Iliadis do it? Is he going to change the direction? He's got the sleeve, but he doesn't need the sleeve and lapel. He's thrown a couple of times off one hand. Now, what's he going for? Harai Makikomi! And it's all over! Iliadis is a 3-time world champion. Harai Makikomi took Top over. Top couldn't stop it. At first, he tried to ride it. You can't do it with this man. And the 2nd and 3rd stab changed it. There's the Osotogari. Wraps up the arm. Then the Makikomi starts. And he just winds him over. What a great example of Harai Makikomi. And he takes him over to win his 3rd world title. Look at the change of direction. Look at the determination on his face. Look at the pulling action of both hands. And he just winds him over, and Top couldn't do anything about it. 10 years at the top, Iliadis. 10 years throwing for Ippon. 10 years at the top. And despite all the rule changes, he has adapted, and he's still throwing for Ippon. Different techniques, they look slightly different, they are slightly different, but he has evolved. He really is a great champion, and who's to say he won't be Olympic champion in 2 years' time? So Voprazov gets the bronze medal for Russia. Lipitiliani of Georgia gets the 2nd bronze medal. His head is down, but he will, without a doubt, bounce back. Top gets the silver. But look at Iliadis there on top of the world. His 3rd world title. And who can stop this man? For me, Iliadis is one of the all-time greats. So, it's almost time for the IJF to say goodbye to the fantastic city of Chelyabinsk, which has successfully hosted one of the greatest world championships of all time. Once again, judo superstars shone on the big stage and provided an example of discipline, athleticism and sportsmanship to rival any major sport. Chelyabinsk has been a fantastic spectacle and one which has undoubtedly helped spread the appeal of judo and hopefully with it the sport's moral code. EBINUMA was this year's first triple world champion. Can he become Olympic champion in 2 years' time? AGBEGNENOU got her revenge against Gerbi and won her first world title. ALVEAR showed the world that judo is for everyone and once again showed what an incredible athlete she is. RINER survived a late scare to equal Tani's record of 7 world titles. But Iliadis was once again the star of the show as he won his 3rd world gold. There's still more judo to come, as next up Chelyabinsk gets to witness the drama and excitement of the World Team Championships. Be sure to join us for plenty of judo fireworks.